Oh my God, I was going to do videos on so many things this afternoon, but the tiredness and the fatigue just hit me so hard. I was like, what better time than to talk about the energy draining, soul sucking aspects of menopausal fatigue. So let's talk about that today. Do a deeper dive. I'm Nancy, midwife of midlife. I'm a psychologist in private practice, but I create online resources like this for women like you so that you can learn how to use your menopausal symptoms as like a catalyst for change to help you to up-level your life so that you can live into your 80s, 90s, and beyond with less emotional baggage, less physical baggage, and lighter and more joyful. Does that make sense? I feel like that was not a great delivery, but by the end of this video, I hope you'll not only understand why you're feeling tired all the time, but also how to help yourself approach it with a little bit more self-compassion. And maybe you'll take home even a few tips about how to get a little bit more of your energy back. What causes menopausal fatigue? Well, we're going through an entire revamping of our bodies. We're cleaning out all the stuff that we no longer need in order to make and raise babies and children. And we're getting rid of all that stuff, which includes our friends estrogen and progesterone, right? And a lot of neural networks. And this is a big reconstruction period for our whole body. So it's like no wonder we're tired all the time, right? It's like our good friends, estrogen and progesterone, are kind of like on a roller coaster ride now, and we're along with it. But it's not a fun roller coaster ride. No, it's not fun at all. So this is it's kind of wreaking havoc on our systems. And with estrogen and progesterone, our cortisol levels rise and drop too, and that's our stress hormones. And when cortisol levels rise and are fluctuating throughout the day, it can really cause crashes and energy surges and then crashes again. And you may be noticing this. Part of it is physical, but part of it is also the life changes that are happening externally, right? There's a lot of endings at this time in our life now. I just dropped my youngest son off to college 2 weeks ago, and I'm feeling all the feels about that. And grief really drains your energy. And add that to, a lot of us are caught in the sandwich generation where we're watching our parents decline, or I'm having friends come down with more and more serious health issues. And it's like there's a lot of external circumstances in our own lives that are kind of rattling us and contributing to higher stress levels, which tend to drain our energy and make us more emotional. Not to mention that we're not sleeping well at night. Maybe, we have more extensive worries because not only what's happening in the planet and our country, but what's happening in our families and our communities. It's very stressful out there. And so this current stress that we're in can also be activating unhealed trauma from our past, which can also be triggering us into a fight or flight response in and out of the day in unexpected ways, that is also contributing to sucking our energy. So it's not just physical, it's not just emotional, it's a combination of all of these factors. So let's talk about the myths associated with menopause fatigue. One myth might be, I just need more coffee. And a lot of us are reaching for the coffee around this time, or the chocolate or the brownies or the donuts, to give us that sugar or caffeine surge to help us get through. And honestly, I think that's just covering up what our bodies are really like calling for and longing for, which is actually more rest. So myth number 2 is that you're lazy. Like, it may sound strange, but I literally hear this in my practice all day long. Like, I can't get the things done that I used to be able to get done. And maybe I'm just lazy. And I'm telling you, you're not, because it's kind of like when you were pregnant, you would need a nap in the afternoon because not only were you doing all your normal daily activities, but you were growing a baby in there. And we might not be growing a baby, but we're weeding out our bodies of everything that is no longer needed to grow that baby, if that makes sense. And it's just as tiring. It's like going through puberty again. Remember how tired you were as a teenager? Like, I used to sleep till 11. We're kind of going through that same type of change, but we don't have the acknowledgement and recognition from people around us that we do when we're pregnant. Yeah. Another myth is you can just push through it. I don't think this is a time in our lives where we can habitually push through it like we used to in our 20s. When I would get tired in my 20s, I remember my favorite saying was, "There's enough sleep in the grave," which I think is a Ben Franklin quote. But if I tried to do that today, like this afternoon, if I tried to push through this fatigue, which technically I am right now as I record this little video, I think my body's going to push back. And I know that, and it's not going to be pretty. Whereas when we're younger, we're more resilient, we're more able to adapt. So it's time to really start listening to our bodies and giving ourselves what we need. So let's talk about a real solution. How about embracing rest and self-compassion? Like, rest isn't weakness as much as we like to say that in our society. Not that we actually say that, but I think the messaging is clear. Like, push yourself until you're burning the candle at both ends, or you're not being productive enough. And we need to set down that abusive message and allow ourselves to rest. Like, give yourself the ability to be lazy once in a while. You probably deserve it. And rest is our body's way of really deeply recharging. So instead of beating ourselves up about feeling tired, maybe we can try to approach it with more self-acceptance and self-compassion. And honestly, it's very likely that showing yourself some self-love and care and compassion will actually help you maintain your energy levels over time, because it's much less draining when you're not beating yourself up. Does that make sense? Anyway, like I said before, there are also these unresolved emotional triggers that are possibly raising their hands to be taken care of at a deeper level. And so it might be time to sign up with a therapist to do some deeper healing work, or any other kind of healing. Go get a massage, work with an energy worker, something like that, to help release the things that are holding you back, whether that be old draining belief systems or old draining thought patterns or even eating habits. So let's talk about some practical tips for managing your fatigue. First of all, like I said, prioritize sleep. We need to be getting 7 or 8 hours, depending on your situation. Some people need as many as 9 hours or more a night. It's a very individualized thing, how many hours of sleep that you really need. But we're in a phase of life where rest is really a form of medicine. The other tip is to prioritize movement. I know if I don't work out regularly, including weight training, I'm a firm believer in weight training in midlife. I agree with getting gentle walks in nature and doing yoga and yin yoga, but I really think that weight training needs to be a part of your midlife stress management and general overall health program. So prioritizing sleep, prioritizing movement, stress management is huge. I can talk till I'm blue in the face about the importance of having a meditation practice in midlife. And if that resonates with you, I have a lot of resources available. I even started a meditation club to help you get moving, and you can sign up for that. I'll leave a link in the description below. And then the last thing is to really focus on nutrition and really finding out the right foods that work for your body, especially prioritizing protein. It can help stabilize your energy, and relying too heavily on sugary or processed foods, of course, we all know is going to sap our energy dry. So, really prioritizing whole foods, protein, and finding out what foods really work for your system by doing the experiments with yourself, or working with a holistic provider like a nutritionist or a naturopath or a functional medicine specialist who can run the blood work and the allergy test to let you know what foods work for your system and what foods don't. I've been doing that a lot lately, and it has been fascinating to find out what foods don't agree with my system and what foods do. It's not always what I thought. Last thing is to prioritizing hydration. We all know we need to drink more water, and adding a no sugar electrolyte to that water, whether it be sea salt and lemon juice or whatever works for you, can really, because dehydration can really sneakily manifest as fatigue. So, if this whole idea of self compassion and managing menopause symptoms in a kinder, gentler way, with a focus on doing a deep dive into how you can learn to listen to your menopause symptoms and use them as a catalyst for real change, if that resonates with you, please hit subscribe. I'd love to have you in this quickly growing community. And you can also sign up for my newsletter and get a free PDF called Decode Your Menopause Symptoms. I'll leave the link below in the description. So let me know in the comments, like, what's your greatest struggle with fatigue? Is this a real issue for you? And how does it manifest? And are you ready for more tips on that? Or do you feel like this video got you where you needed to go? Yeah, until next time, I am literally off to take a nap. Not even kidding. And remember, menopause fatigue is real, but with a little self-compassion and some smart choices, we can start to feel more energized. It's all about listening to our bodies instead of fighting against them. So we've got this: one nap, one deep breath, and one herbal cup of tea at a time. See you in the next video. Mwah! Love you guys.